let's continue that conversation. I think for that situation, I think it's just a learning experience, and I think brothers like myself and all the brothers, right, should at least sit back and just at least listen, right, to the queen side, like see their perspective, and not because we're so used to of just knowing our side, right, point of view. But I think we should have
everybody like reacts to something they relate to. Do you know what I mean? That's normal. That's normal thing.
And understand, you know, the queens of hip hop, you know, like Jeskilz, like a lot of them is on the front line.
A lot of them are like
forward.
They've been doing like hard work for years.
Very passionate about, and trust me, I know, because you know, like B Girl City with Baby Girl, like 81. Come on, since beginning, it's like so. I know that whole process that for you as a collective, y'all been trying to like push this, you know, with passion. Like you are very passionate about it, and so when that happened, even though they don't mean it, it's just for you all, like it's just like, and all these years and the one moment, you know, that can be all glory and the accomplishment that we do for all these years is up to this moment, the first ever Rebel
and I mean, again, and it's crazy too, because like, to be honest, like if you really like keep it real, that accomplishment is not necessarily a huge, like not everybody like necessarily relates to it, even on a B girl, you know, set of point, because like a lot of us again didn't come up with, you know, that stage mentality, and so for a lot of us, like it's kind of also hard to sometimes relate to that, you know what I mean? But you know what's crazy? Like it's to the point where like, man, like we out there to take what we can, and any little bit like counts. Do you know what I'm saying? Like that's how we are. Like we're like, man, like so and so is doing that. Like maybe it doesn't really like resonate like to the fullest, but you know what? Like I'm supporting it, because if I don't, like who will? Do you know what I mean? Like, and it shouldn't be that way. I mean, that's how society is in general. You know what I'm saying? Like, so we don't have a choice. But like whatever. That's what people are saying. Like, man, like what do you think about, you know, B-girl competition? Like, shouldn't it just be B-boys? And I'm like, well, guess what? Like, if it was just B-boy competition, like we would have even less of a platform. Do you know what I mean? And it's not because I believe that we're not as good, but that's because like, man, like the conception of what breaking is on its own is already like so different that a lot of people that even get a seat on those like judges table would probably never really even vote for a girl because of how they portray breaking. You know what I mean? Like, and that happened, like, that's kind of like what happened at BC1, like with the final, you know what I'm saying? Like, take away the B-girl, you know, subject. And it's like, the world is, you know, is telling you, like, you know, Luigi won. And clearly, like, I mean, Lil Zoo won the battle. He's the winner. He's the champ. You know, he's amazing. But see, even with that, people were complaining, saying like, yo, real breaking was represented by Luigi. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, the people sitting on that table are the one making the call. Do you know what I'm saying? So now you have the world, you know, being told that whoever wins that battle is the best in the world. All right? So whoever wins that battle is kind of defining what breaking is. So then you have like someone else coming in the picture. You have like an Uzi, or you have even like a Luigi, or you have a B-girl, you know what I mean, that comes in, and compared to like the caliber of like, you know, or compared to whoever won, it's like, yo, that shit is not as good. You know what I mean? For a lot of people. So you're just left with like, you know, either not even making it to the qualifiers or to the big stage. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's a different subject. Like, take away the gender issue. You know what I mean? That's just like the issues that we have within breaking. So that's why I say, like, man, like for now, like we gotta take what we can. And if that means like, yo, you create more of these B-girl, you know, battles, so that we create more visibility, because visibility will create more inspiration. You know, when you see something, then you know it's doable, right? Like if you never saw a girl doing power before, and you're an up and coming B-girl, honestly, you might even think that that's not doable because you've never seen somebody do it. And especially if you're not around people that are going to tell you like, yo, you can do it. You know what I'm saying? You're going to feel like, yo, if there's no other girl that did it, why could I do it? You know what I'm saying? But if you see it happening, then it becomes a reality. And that's why I'm like, man, like, screw it. Like, let's just take what we can, because the more visibility, it means like you'll be able to reach out to more people. And by doing that, you'll be able to inspire. And if you inspire, then you're taking a whole new generation to, you know, your level and possibly to the next level, which means a lot more of us and, you know, a lot more of us that are taking it to, you know, highest and highest levels. So that's why I'm like, yo, I don't even care what it is. Throw it. You know what I'm saying? Like for now. And hopefully within 5 to maybe 10 years, yo, like we'll be like so strong, like not that we're not strong, we are. It's just that it's really hard to compete with like with what's happening right now, because, you know, numbers matter at the end of the day. Numbers matter, especially for promoters. Like you got to remember, like at the end of the day, like promoters are investing money, you know, sponsors are involved. And I mean, think about yourself. Would you invest money into something that you know is not going to give you either your money back or is not going to grow your money? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, as a promoter myself, or as someone who's like real, I mean, other than breaking, I love like, you know, investing in like real estate and like, you know, flipping houses and everything. So, you know, you start to like really get used to like numbers and realize like what, you know, makes sense and what doesn't. And for now, because it's a lot less of us, it's harder for anyone to invest more money into us. Do you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, like, even if people have a big heart and they want to do something positive and something good, I mean, it's not sustainable. You know what I mean? It's becoming like it's happening. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's happening. I know it's going to get better. But unfortunately, like, we still need more time to get to the point that I know for a fact that we're going to get to, where you won't even need those bigger battles. You know what I'm saying? Like, you won't need them because, like, yo, it'll be like a whole armada, like showing up to jams and qualifying. You know what I mean? Maybe, who knows? Like, maybe we'll be able to make it to the point where we are able to redefine what breaking is about. You know what I'm saying? That you won't be expected to win a BC1 because you do some crazy power and tricks, but your connection to, you know, the music and the way you flow, the, you know, the way you're like in control of your body, or like, you know, the like anything you want, you know, is so like next level that you won, and it was undeniable. But we're not even there, like, you know what I mean, with breaking in general. So until then, I'm like, let's just do as much as we can. Let's just, you know, let's just keep on like working hard, of course, you know what I mean? And everybody needs to play their position. That's the thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's hard. It's hard for everyone because, again, at the end of the day, we're all B-boys and B-girls. Like, we all started with that fire. That, you know, I mean, let's not, you know, some of us are more humble than others. But if you're a B-boy or a B-girl, like, you have that kind of, like, ego, you know, thing going on. I mean, that's the point of, like, stepping into the cypher. Like, that's you saying, like, yo, I'm here. You know what I mean? And so when you kind of, like, shift to trying to do things for others, you know, stepping into maybe, I don't know, leadership or trying to be an ambassador, like, it can get overwhelming because you're like, man, like, and I'm still me, you know what I mean? I'm still fighting for myself. I'm still fighting for my name. So where does that leave me? See what I'm saying? Like, where does that, like, I'm fighting for others. Like, are they gonna, you know, of course they're gonna surpass you. But, I mean, isn't it kind of like your purpose? You know what I'm saying? Like, if you, for me, that's what it is. Like, it just felt like, man, I'm not saying bye to myself. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying hello to a new me. You know what I mean? And that hopefully that new me is also, like, creating opportunities for others. Do you know what I mean? So, like, maybe I can use my struggles, my issues, and kind of work in a way that they won't have to go through it. And so that way, if they don't have to go through it, they'll for sure surpass me. You know what I'm saying? Like, they'll be better than me. And if they're better than me, they're representing me to the best of their abilities. And that's a win right there. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's winning. So, but sometimes it's just not easy to get into that state of mind because, again, like, you know, we're all out there, you know, trying to get ours as well. Right. But I think that we need more of that, you know, in our culture and our community, like people being willing to, you know, step into these shoes and lead others. You know what I'm saying? Like, not just lead like your own self. So.
Yeah, I mean, that's that was my purpose, is to have these type of conversations, right? Because we all go to jams and we get down, but we don't really like have that real deep conversation, about the culture, or even if we agree to disagree.
Yeah.
But it's always like that, right? It's always, we show up to jam, we battle with this and that. Yo, what's up? Boom.
Yeah.
All right, yo, we'll go eat. But never really compensate about certain topics, like this, like live, and hopefully whenever people see this, they can at least understand your point of view from the woman's point of view, and really not just on a defensive, but more of just like a listening, educational awareness, and I don't think you're saying like Benny is whack person or whatever it is.
It's just more. I don't even know. I even feel bad. I'm like, man, I was in Switzerland like this all those days, and I didn't even really get to know him. You know what I mean? Like, but even not knowing him, it's like you can tell, you can feel, like, you know what I'm saying? I know for a fact, like, there was no ill intentions, you know what I mean? So that has nothing to do with it, anybody could have get caught out there with a different subject. I mean, me, I'm the queen of, like, thinking something and saying it in a way that's like, oh man, like, how did I not have the right words? You know what I mean? Like, I'm still learning to communicate. That's been one of the biggest issues in my life. Communication, you know what I'm saying? Like, so it could have been anybody. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, and so it's and honestly, you know how I feel? Like, man, like, honestly, like, I'm kind of thankful to him. I'm thankful to him because, like, if it wasn't for that moment, then this wouldn't have happened. Like, I wouldn't have an opportunity to kind of like tell everybody how I feel and how I know other people are feeling. And so that helped create the conversation. You know what I mean? And I'm sorry that it had to, like, kind of like I kind of had to, like, use his slip up or his, like, situation to bring that subject up, But the way that I look at it is like, I'm thankful for Benny, honestly, because a lot of people think it but don't really say it, or or they say it but then they deny it, and you never really get an opportunity to really, like, get deep. And for me, it was really interesting, like, these past few days, to be able to engage with people. You know what I mean? Like, even if they didn't agree or they were kind of upset, with my way of going about it, like, there was still a conversation that was happening. You know what I'm saying? And there was still, like, people that were just like, oh man, like, I've been wanting to say that for years, or, like, people that started with, like, yo, what the heck, like, why'd you do that, to, like, you know what, like, I get it, like, I understand. And that to me is like, I'm grateful for Benny, you know what I'm saying? Like, honestly, I'm saying that with, like, all due respect, where it's like, I hope that he understands, like, man, don't look at it as, like, me trying to play you or, disrespect you. That was not the intention. I'm really looking at it as, like, man,
and at the same time, I feel like the B-girls out there that feel some type of way don't outcast Benny, no. He's a bad person.
They know that that's not a single person thinking that way, or making the mistake of speaking that way. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, they know it's like, even people were saying, like, oh yeah, I'm sure Annie knows what's up. I'm like, of course she knows what's up. She's been in this culture long enough to know that it is a common language. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's so common that, honestly, like, let's be real. As a B-girl, when you first start breaking, if someone tells you you're dope like a man, like, honestly, you kind of feel like, man, I'm the shit. You know what I mean? It's not even just men. Like, women are literally, like, feeling, women were defending him. Oh, that's not what he meant. Yeah, that's because, like, you still haven't taken the time to get to that consciousness of, like, all right, man, like, why things are the way they are. How can we make them better? Maybe, like, that has to do with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, again, you know what I mean? Like, it's a universal thing, too. It's not even just breaking. That's the thing. Like, you know what I mean? That's why I'm bringing it up. And I'm like,
beyond breaking. This is more of a society thing, right? Because we've been groomed that way. Like you said earlier.
I think my homegirl Roulette would just send me like something about a woman that just served the biggest wave that's ever been served. You know?
Oh, wow.
And I think the whole thing was about how no one was talking about it.
Wow.
Speaking about things we don't talk about, like, I'm sorry, maybe it's me, I just get hyped, you know what I mean? But, I mean, yo, like, Big Girl Maka, you know what I mean? Shout out to Big Girl Maka.
Shout out to Maka.
She just recently became the first Big Girl sponsored.
Yeah.
You know? She's sponsored by
Monster.
And I'm like, am I the only one, like, realizing what it is? Like, a woman, all right? A woman of color. A woman of color with freaking style.
Yeah.
And finesse is the first B-girl to be sponsored by an energy drink.
Right.
Like, am I the only one understanding how freaking insane that is?
Right.
Like, yo, if you really...
But no one's talking about it.
She's like, no, that's my thing. And I'm like, man, And if I talk about it, well, that's because I'm a woman and I'm a feminist. You know what I mean? But we need more people in general to talk about it. So it just becomes like, yo, like, people realize, you know what I'm saying? It's like if me, I'm saying I'm dope. People are going to be like, of course you're going to say that. But if other people are saying that I'm dope, now it becomes a reality. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm saying. Like, yo, like, things are happening and people don't even realize. Do you know what I mean? Like, don't realize that is a freaking achievement. You know what I mean? Like, that's an achievement. And not just for her, for all those little girls that are like looking up to her, because yo, Micah has a follower, you know, as a following of like little girls that relate, you know, to her. Do you know what that means? Like, that's amazing. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, to know like that's the first bigger sponsor, and like she's just opening the doors to, you know, the next, you know, woman to have like those kind of opportunities. Like, yo, like, I'm just asking, like, please, like, stop getting caught up with like who won the last big jam. Start realizing the bigger picture and the kind of accomplishment that we are like having within this culture, because it goes beyond. Like, that shit is like a reflection to society. You know what I mean? Like, right now everything is kind of like evolving. You know what I mean? And we are a reflection of that. You know what I mean? Like, we're doing it. And so to me, it just needs to kind of be like, it needs to be recognized. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, and again, it's come back to that society, you know, as men, we just groom, right? We're groomed that way. It's not our fault or nothing. It's just how it is, right?
It's just nobody's fault, but it's like, once you know, what are you going to do about it? You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like people who had like a terrible upbringing, like, and you kind of like, you just thought like, yo, they were never going to come back from that. You know what I mean? They were ruined from the get-go. You know what I mean? But they were like, no, I'm not going to let that define me. And they decide to be, you know, to create their own path and you know, decide what they want to be, what they want to do. You know what I mean? Same thing with the way you grew up sometimes, you know, with your parents telling you like, it should be like this and this or that. And then you come to that moment of like, man, I'm going to free myself from all that, you know, and become my own. And that's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Like, I'm all about like, yo, I can understand why a lot of men, you know, may have this kind of thinking, but there's enough of us like fighting and proving, you know what I mean, that we are worthy of, you know, our own glory. You know what I'm saying? For you to like, you know, like decide and even go out of your way to like recognize that. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, that's kind of like what I'm saying. Like,
yeah, I mean, in my experience, like, even when I first met you, I never like, oh, Jeskilz, oh, she's dope. You know, like, she's dope.
I've never felt that.
Right.
From
it's more like, yo, Jeskilz, oh, yo, she's killing it. And that's it. Like, she's dope. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
But yeah, I mean, that's it. With Asia, same thing. Rockefeller, you know, all the B girls. It's never on that. Yeah, she, you know, she's dope for a B girl, or you know, this that. It's just, yo, she's dope, you know. And of course, there's no easy props, right? If I see a B girl that's doing a windmill, you know, and getting claps,
yeah,
I'm not gonna clap for that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
What? You know what you expect it because you're a B girl? I'm gonna clap. You know, because you did windmill. You know what I'm saying? And it comes back to that no easy props
and all that. Nah.
So let me ask you another question though. Do you feel like competition wise, one day should it be just as one instead of separating it? Like, oh, there's a B girl category and there's a
that's the ultimate goal. You know what I mean? That would be amazing. Again, like right now the issue is because look, a lot of promoters are telling me like, but yo, like we already are doing qualifiers that are like for all genders. You know what I mean? Because if you do a B-girl battle, men are not invited. But if you do a B-boy battle, B-boy, B-girl battle, like women have access to it.
Yeah.
That's kind of like the card that everyone pulls. And my thing is like, yeah, but the problem is like, so far, no B-girl has been able to make it to top 16. You know, like in one of those big, I mean, at least for BC1, you know what I mean? Or Undisputed, I don't know, even for Undisputed. So, yeah, you could look at it as the way that, well, B-girls are not good enough. The way that I'm looking at it is there's a way to do both. Do you know what I mean? There's a way to make it, and maybe people are saying like, yo, that's unfair. But I'm like, you know what? For all the years that it's been unfair for us, cut us some slack. You know what I'm saying? Like, give us something. And the way that I look at it is like, yo, we can have the B-girl, we can have that B-girl battle, you know what I'm saying, like going on. And I feel like the winner of that big battle should get an automatic invitation to that top 16 against B-boys. Do you know what I mean? Like that's how I see it. Because my thing is like, yo, she's paid the dues of battling, you know what I mean? The top of the top, and she
top to top.
So I'm looking at these top B-boys that get like straight up invitation, and sometimes I'm like, yo, you're telling me that he deserves to be in that battle more than she did? Get out of here. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, get out of here, because like you just won't get the heat, even if he's not dope, even if he loses like first round, not doing great, you're okay with that because you know nobody's gonna complain to you. Do you know what I'm saying? What I'm saying right now is like, man, like somebody's gonna have to lose first round in that top 16. So what if it's a girl? At least she got to like, she paid her dues to get to that stage. And no matter what, I guarantee you there's at least one person that's gonna be inspired, you know what I mean, by the fact that, she went all the way there and she got a chance to represent herself as an individual, you know what I mean?
Right.
In that battle. And then maybe by doing that, you're going to create a whole new generation of beasts.
Right. It's just a domino effect. Right.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's what I'm saying by like, yo, sometimes you just forget about girl, like, just use what you got. You know what I'm saying? And right now, I've been saying that. Like, I don't know how long it's going to take, but I've been telling all these people, like, this is how we do it, man. Like, get that bigger, category that's her paying her dues to get that spot. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so far, I'm still being told to be patient. You know what I mean? And I'm like, man, you're telling me to be patient. Like, all the dope B-girls right now that deserve that spot, I'm sorry to say, like, we're getting older. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of us are getting older. And unfortunately, like, the ones that paved the way, they won't even get that chance. You know what I mean? And it's sad. I mean, it's dope because it's like, man, like, we all know, like, they were the ones that paved the way. But it's just sad to know that, man, like, they worked so hard and they're not going to get that opportunity just because people feel like they're not ready yet. You know what I'm saying? It's not ready yet. You know what I mean? But to me, it's like, I look at Annie, I look some of, like, the top 4, and I'm like, you know what? If one of them would have been on that top 16 B-boy battle, even if she lost first one, I don't think she would have made a fool of herself. Do you know what I'm saying? And that matters to me. Like, I'm like, yo, so what? Like, you would show the world how our culture is so different. For everyone that thinks breaking is a sport, you know what I mean? You would show, like, no, it's an athletic dance that can be done by everyone. Do you know what I mean? And that's why our culture is like no other. That's what I'm trying to say. It's like, man, like, breaking is dope and everything, but if we're not using it for the greater good, like, it just gets redundant. Like, at least to me, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, after you're in it, like, for so long, it's like, all right, what else? Like, what's the next competition, the next trophy, the next, check? But that's why, like, breaking is kind of like always, it stays, you know what I mean? And with the general public, it kind of like, it doesn't really grow because, like, we are not making that impact that we're making is not big enough to relate to everybody. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm a perfect example. Like, I'll take myself, you know, for instance, on social media. Like, I always tell people, I'm like, yo, I'm probably one of the only person that when I post something, I lose followers. And people are joking around like, nah, no way. I'm like, I'm telling you. And I'm going to tell you why. I'm really hard to relate with. I'm a B girl. So you'll think like, all right, I break, right? So breakers can relate. But I'm not the most competitive chick, right? So I don't have like constant content to put out, like, you know, to keep the new gen like hype. So I lose followers like that. I'm a B girl who break, who don't compete. And even though I feel like I'm really active, I mean, aside of that, I'm a mother, right? So now, a lot of people in this community don't relate because there's not too many of us that are B girl and that have kids. You know what I'm saying? So I lose these type of followers, like, man, like her and her kids. Then you could think, man, I can bring all the mothers and, you know, that whole, because the followers with like the whole motherhood is insane. Like these moms are killing the game. You know what I'm saying? Like they have sponsors, they're making money, like they're living the life. But I'm like, what mother is going to relate to me?
Yeah.
Nobody's going to relate. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, so, yo, like that's like, you know, that's why breaking is really hard. And it's, you know, we understand it, but the general public is like,
don't.
You know what I'm saying? And which is why I think the only way that we can kind of like touch hearts is by doing meaningful things. And for me, if you start, you know, getting on that stage and saying like, look at this woman, you know what I mean, who's battled her way into the stage to compete against some of the best. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, she is here to tell you her story, how she got here, why she's fighting. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like any woman can relate with that. Because it's beyond the dance. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like every mom, every father that has a daughter, do you know what I mean? Like, everybody, like, can find something to relate to with that. You know, like, and that's why to me it matters. Like, I don't, at the end of the day, like, man, I don't even care about, like, these competitions, to be honest. Like, I'm like, I can live without them. But if I'm going to keep, like, being involved, like, it just has to mean something. You know what I mean? Like, and even, like, I mean, I have 3 sons. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have this huge responsibility of, like, grooming, like, these little men. You know, like, I want them to have an open mind. I want them to be respectful. I want them to, like, you know, understand the work that I'm doing. And understand, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not easy, but, like, that, you know, it serves a purpose and it's changing, like, it inspires people, you know, in general. And so to me, like, that's how I look at it, you know. Maybe some people feel like, oh man, like, you're too deep in it, but that's what keeps me motivated. You know what I mean? Like, the dance itself, I mean, what has not been done? Do you know what I mean? Like, so I just hope that for the future, like, I don't know, like, we just find ways to, like, be a little bit more conscious and inspired to do meaningful things, you know. And on the bright note, honestly, like, that time that we just spent at Red Bull BC1 was really dope, man. Like, the evolution is insane. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I can tell that the people that are involved now, like, they really care about, you know, representing the culture, you know, the best that they can. And it's really dope to see how, like, so much emphasis was put on, like, you know, the cultural aspect, you know what I mean? Like, from the panel discussion, the workshops, like, a lot of downtime for us to just kick it, you know what I mean? And that to me is the direction that we need to keep on going. You know what I mean? Like, have the big stages and all that stuff, but always make sure that you balance it out with, like, you know, like, us getting, like, all ages, all styles, like, you know what I mean? Like, all mentalities, to be able to, like, you know, have those moments. Because, you know, for us that are not, like, competing or don't get that opportunity to be on that stage, I mean, what is the point for us? You know what I mean? But at least now we're there, we're supporting, you know, we're enjoying it, and we have a voice too, like, you know what I mean? Like, we can contribute as well. So I really hope we continue, like, you know, in that direction.
Yeah. I mean, I heard nothing but good things with Red Bull, and like,
I mean, nothing is perfect. Nothing is ever perfect.
And that's the thing. Like, I talked to Renegade on the last conversation I had with him. You know, and again, people just like to playing and stuff, but they don't really know what's behind the scene and the work of all these different teams, and just trying to at least listen to us, right? Like at least like they're doing their part.
That's my thing. I'm like, all these people complaining about, you know, corporation and energy drinks taking over. I'm like, do you have that kind of money that you want to invest? See what I'm saying? Like, who else is doing it? Like, honestly, like, I'm trying to get rich. I want to get rich to the point that I can be one of, like, those big sponsors that, you know, you got a jam going on, like, I got you. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't forget about the energy drinks. Like, I got you. Like, you know, but I don't think, like, none of us right now is in the
as of right now, no. right.
So, I mean, if people are doing it, like, you can like complain about it if you want, but the way that I look at it is like, man, it's creating so much opportunities, man, for so many people. You know what I'm saying? Like, who am I to be like, screw that? Like, you know what I mean? Like, nah, you know.
Yeah, it's not like they're coming in like, well, no, we can't do that. No, you got to do with our perspective. You know,
and I'm sure, that probably maybe in the beginning, you know, maybe some like things like that happen, but the more and more, you know, everybody's getting more in tune. Everybody's doing, you know, a lot of effort. I saw it, man. Like, trust me. Like, I told you before, like, I'm the biggest complainer. You know what I mean? Like, when I see things I don't like, you know, I voice my opinion. But I've also learned to communicate more, you know, and kind of like understand the process. I had an amazing conversation with JP while I was in Switzerland, and he's in charge of like the whole like marketing, like the dance and education part of Red Bull. And it was really dope talking to him because like I got some information that I didn't even like really thought about, you know what I mean? We can't forget that we're dealing with a brand, you know what I mean? Like, the brand also has its agenda, like, as much as we, you know, some people are like, man, like, they got money, like, what? Again, it's a business, like, you know what I mean? It's a business, and it has to make sense for everybody, do you know what I mean? And so for now, like, even though you want to see things happening, like, we still need to go through certain protocols, you know what I mean, and certain phases. And, you know, that's the game. That's just the game. And the best that we can do is either come with solution, ideas, concepts, present them, and hopefully see them, you know, come to life. Or you can create your own thing. And that's my thing, like, create your own thing, create your own, like, happy vision, you know what I mean? And that's how I see it from now, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, at least that's what I do, man. Like, I support everything that I feel has good intention, you know what I mean? Like, that's, I have, that's my feel from what I saw, you know what I mean? It's like, not everything is perfect, but I've felt nothing but good intention. And so to me, I'm like, yo, I get hyped just off of that. I'm like, I want to be part of that. You know what I mean? And at least if I'm part of it, I feel like I have a voice. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's why I always encourage people, like, a lot of cats, like, so many dope, like, B-boys and B-girls that have inspired us. You know what I mean? That have created such, like, crazy history are not really around anymore. Not because they don't break anymore. You know what I mean? Like, people need to stop thinking that just because you're not on every, like, clip or competing at every jam means you're not breaking. Like, come on, it's a lifestyle. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, even with my issues, you know, you hear that beat and you get down. Like, you know what I mean? That's what we do.
Exactly.
But a lot of these, like, really dope cats, like, they don't really get involved. One, because they feel like they're not invited. And they don't really understand. It's not that nobody wants you there. It's that everybody's caught up, you know? And it's kind of like out of eye, you know, what is it? Like, out of sight, out of mind, you know what I mean? And a lot of people, like, a lot of promoters too, like, sometimes they don't even know if you want to be involved, you know what I mean? But honestly, like, that is a good moment to kind of, like, drop egos and reach out and say, like, yo, I want to be involved. You know what I mean? Like, because that's all it takes sometimes, you know what I mean? And the reason why we need you to be involved is because if you are involved, you have a voice. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can make a change. Like, you can, everything that you're, like, not happy about, you have an opportunity to maybe change it or understand why it's that way. That's just, like, and that's how I see it. That's why, like, you know what I mean? Like, you're like, man, like, you're cypher addicts, but you're dealing with, like, these corporations. And I'm like, yeah, why shouldn't I? I worked so hard to build what I've built. You know what I mean? Why would I like enable myself from having a presence, a voice? You know what I mean? Like a platform to maybe touch somebody or like inspire someone. You know, why would I do that to myself?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of like what I wish like some of like the B-boys and B-girls, especially from the generation like before us or our generation, kind of think about how like, man, like we need them still. You know what I'm saying? Like,
exactly.
And I mean, it happened recently at a Floats Jam. You know what I mean? Like, I hadn't seen K-Mal like in so long. I know he's breaking every day. He's in Venice, like, you know what I mean, making that money.
Yes.
But I hadn't seen him in a jam in a long time. And again, like everybody, you know what I mean, has their own thing going on. And you can't blame anyone, but he showed up to Flo's jam, you know what I'm saying? And like in an instant, bam, like got into a battle, you know what I mean? And it was it. Like that inspired so many, you know what I mean? And that's what I'm saying. Like we need those moments still. You know what I mean? Like we still need those kind of like, those people to remind ourselves like, all right, got all that thing going on, that's cool, but we still have that, you know what I mean? Like that's still the essence right there, So that's kind of like what I want to see for the future. And honestly, Red Bull definitely like paid attention to that because like they were creating that whole reunion thing. Like I know they brought Rockefeller. I mean, she was hosting, but we also had like, I mean, a lot of people that were just there to either hang out, you know what I mean, or get involved somehow, and that's dope, you know what I mean. Like, so what I'm saying is like, yo, sometimes like reach out, you know what I mean. Like, just don't wait for someone to like, just like we want you, we're too used to that, like we're too used to like waiting for the phone call or the email. Just be a leader, you know what I mean. Like,
exactly. Proactive, we're so used to that.
That's
reactive.
Works, you know what I mean?
Right.
So.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with you. I mean, that's the thing. Like, we just need to be more proactive. We need to change our approach, our mindset. Yes, be competitive on the dance floor. Yeah, you go to jam, go hard, or go home. But outside of that, it's like, let's all be professionals, basically, it's just a reflection of yourself and how you want.
And it's a reflection of ourselves, and it's a reflection of our culture, our scene. You know what I mean? And I'm like, man, like I'm working hard, like on all angles, because again, I'm getting to a point. I'm like, man, like my kids right now, like they're looking at me, and the music is on. We break, we have fun. We're having fun, right? But it's gonna be a time where they're gonna start asking questions, like, yo, mom, like, what do you do in life? Like, what do you do? Why you leave on the weekends? Like, you know what I mean? And I want to stand proud. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to stand proud and say, like, this is what I'm doing. Like, and it has to make sense. Right now, honestly, like, it makes sense to me because I'm passionate. You know what I mean? It makes sense to maybe you, someone in the community, because, like, we relate. But from the outside perspective, like, they're just like, so what do you do? Like, oh, you're a mom, you got kids. I mean, I do have a business, you know what I mean? Like, on the side. But, it's still kind of like, about, you know what I mean? Like, and how is that
break dance? For them, it's like, you still have to go break dance.
Yeah. And I mean, that's why it's really inspiring when you see, like, people getting sponsored, people having contracts. You know what I mean? Like, that to me is like, I'm sorry, level. Man. Like, it's a passion, but you know what? Like, like, how do you want to, what happens to you then? You know what I'm saying? And maybe you're all about that, I'm just living the life day by day. Screw that. I don't have that luxury, man. You know what I mean? I have a family, like, and to me, like, I'm telling these kids, like, it is okay to follow your dream. Because that's what I did. I left my family, I left my country to follow a dream. You know what I'm saying? And I have to be able to tell them, like, look, it's okay to do that. Because if you do and you really work hard, you'll be successful. And if you're successful, you'll be able to get whatever you want in life. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I have to be able to, like, show and lead. You know what I mean? And that's what I've been working really hard towards. You know what I mean? But I would love for a lot of people to be able to get there. You know what I mean? Because then it becomes like something that you can show up for, you know, like that you can, like as of right now, I mean, I don't think I want to tell I mean, if they break, that's because they love it and everything, but I'm not pushing them to become B-boys. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, and it's even crazy because, like, you know, like my man, my husband is a step man, you know what I mean? And he comes, like, I met him, he was breaking. And he moved to LA, and I was like, I could tell that wasn't his, like, mentally, that wasn't, you know, his thing. And so I was kind of like, man, like, what are you going to do, like, with your life? You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's when, you know, the whole stunt thing, that's something that he wanted to do since he was a kid. And I've seen the growth of, like, from him, I mean, his first gig, I think he was, like, a background on, like, the movie Battle of the Year. Was it? Yeah, Battle of the Year, I think.
Right.
That was his first gig in the industry, you know what I'm saying? And from now, he's doing, like, major
he's
jobs, you know what I mean, in the industry.
Wasn't he, like, Black Panther? Wasn't
Yeah. So, Black Panther, he's stunt fight coordinator on the next Creed. He's getting ready to leave for yeah, like, and so I'm looking at it as like, man, it's an amazing story, like, in the sense, like, you know, I've seen, you know, he definitely started from the bottom, you know what I mean? And I'm looking at my kids and I'm like, that's going to be an amazing story for them to, like, you know, look up to. And so where do I stand? And it's not to compare, it's not like rivalry. I mean, I'm the first one to be like, yo, you go, you know, he's about to leave right now for 2 months. You know what I mean? So I have to step up and be like, yo, I got this. You know what I mean? I'm holding down the house. And I'm still handling my own stuff as well. Do you know what I mean? So I support 100%. But at the same time, like, yo, I'm fighting for myself too. I'm fighting, you know, in the sense that I'm like, yo, I want my kids to look at me as, like, you know, you know, like someone who's also accomplished her dreams and went all out, and it was worth it. You know what I mean? So that to me is really important. And the way that I can demonstrate that is if I got my shit together, but if also the whole, like, everyone kind of has their shit together, so it can make sense. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, it makes total sense, you know? And that's the thing, I see a lot of passion in you, Jeskilz, you know? I mean, since day one, with your Breakin, and then, of course, the cypher addicts, and then, you know, your views on try to uplift and empower women within the culture, and that's the thing. I wish you much success, you know, and that's the thing. I wish everybody much success, and all of us on what we trying to do to uplift the culture, right? And it comes back to we gotta build and support each other and not destroy. Like, oh, you know, back then, maybe 10, 15 years ago, we might have that mindset because we saw, like, you know, like, oh.
Yeah, it was all about the hustle and, you know.
You know.
But now we have tools, we have ways that we can really use our platform to expand, to grow, and be sustainable. That's why I'm looking at it, like, you know. Like, now for me, breaking is a luxury. Like, it's a treat. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't have to break. I'm not a slave to my breaking. And that's why, like, you know, I've learned that from the industry, that I was like, man, screw that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I went from being passionate to now, like, just having this feeling of, like, man, what, you know, I'm dancing for people. I don't even want to. So I took that feeling and I really, like, it stayed engraved. I was like, man, I don't want to be that person that is a slave of her passion. You know what I mean? And I made sure that I was, like, financially stable enough by investing my money. Like, people have to learn how to invest their money right. You know what I mean? That's something that I feel like it's almost like people think it's cool to be broke. It's wrong. It's real. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
and that's a mindset.
Admit, or like people don't want to admit or don't want to say, like, yo, I'm financially, I'm good. You know what I mean? It's like, it's embarrassing. It's not hip hop. And my thing is, like, hip hop is about, you know what I mean? Telling a story. Like, this is how I started. This is what I built. That's hip hop to me. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's using hip hop, and that's what hip hop was about. Like, it was about like touching people in a way that, you know, it just resonated. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's why people need to, like, get out of that mind. Like, you know, maybe before that was the cool thing to do. Now, with everything that we have, like, between social media and also everything that you learn from this dance, like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like it just gives you that special thing. You know what I mean? Like, there's no way you can be like a B-boy or a B-girl that's been doing it for a long time and who's been accomplishing a lot of things, and you don't think about yourself as like special. Like, honestly, I feel like we're special. Like, we're different. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're different. Like, we're in so many ways. Because like, it's not like, athletes. Like, athletes have a way. They are built a certain way. They are coached. They are, they're raised from the ground up. You know what I'm saying? And they know what step to take. They know exactly what direction they're going. They know exactly what they need to do to get to the top, right? Mm-hmm. They'll even know from the beginning if they have a chance or not. We don't have none of that. Mm-hmm. Nobody's telling us how many times have you seen a guy or a girl and you see them break and you're like, man, they're so whack. Like, they should just quit right now. You know what I mean? Waste of time. 2 years later, you see them and you're like, what the heck? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And that's because, like, hip-hop in general, like, breaking, it just forces you, like, to go beyond. Like, there's no rules. There's nobody to tell you how you do it. So you gotta dig, like, super deep. So deep that you get to know yourself. I feel like no one else can, know themselves. Because you gotta learn your weaknesses. You gotta learn your mental, like, abilities. You gotta learn your physical weaknesses. You gotta learn how to, like, survive.
How to deal with pain.
You gotta learn about, all that thing. Like, you gotta deal with ego. You gotta, like, deal with losing, dealing with, like, criticism. This is so much things that come in the picture. Like, that shit just builds you. Do you know what I mean? But my thing is, like, what is the point of going through all that if it's to stay at the same level?
Yeah.
I call it, in my opinion, it's a waste of talent. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's, to me, like, the purpose of all that is to find to become the best that you can be in general. Do you know what I mean? Like, on and off the floor is what I always say. Like,
I just feel like
that's been the purpose.
I feel like there's this whole conversation going around the scene. It's like, well, if you're supporting the Red Bull, you're supporting the Monster, you're supporting all these big gin, that means you're not a real.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, man. Like, that's very, like, teenage mentality. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, man, I guess you got to grow out of that dumb mentality. You know what I'm saying? So I think we just grew that way. Yeah. And that's the thing I was telling Renegades, like, I want my generation to break that cycle, And so the next generation, so it's like you, Goku's in the building right now, Omar, Technique, all of us, like, we got to be that generation to break that cycle and, like, kind of lead and develop the next generation. It's like, yo, no, yes, know your history, what have you, and not force feed it to them, right? Yeah. But kind of, like, guide them, help them, assist them side by side with them, and not just be like this boss, like, no, you got to do this, no, you got to do that, Let them.
I always feel like,
move freely.
Get involved. Mm-hmm. You get involved, you get a voice, you get to, have maybe change things, or being in the back seat and just complaining. And I've learned, from the hard way, like, it just gets you nowhere. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it just gets you absolutely nowhere. You don't like something, you can always reach out to people too. You know what I mean? Like, you can always, whoever you think has some kind of, like, pull or power, like, nothing is stopping you from reaching out to them directly. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying everybody's gonna listen to everything or take everything in consideration, but at least, like, I guarantee you that from a conversation, you may learn something that will make you feel like either less stressed out or less upset. And that might push you into, like, figure out other ways to make whatever you want to make happen, become a reality. And I know that's how I proceed now. Like, I go to whoever I know is in charge. I communicate whatever I feel, and depending on the answer, it forces me to, like, all right, I thought I could do that, but I can't. You know what? What if I go into that direction? Or what if I try this? What if I try that? You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's, like, to me, it's just like, man, it just, you become more creative, you become more intentional, you know what I mean? And overall, like, yo, it just defines, like, you know, your position as well, you know what I mean? Not just as a dancer, you know, it's kind of like, what else can you do, you know what I mean? Like, and I think that's kind of like what people have to kind of realize right now, you know? A lot of us, man, like, and that's why, in a sense, like, being the underdog sometimes, like, as a woman, I'm like, you know what, it sucks that I have to deal with certain things sometimes, but at the same time, it forces me to never sleep on anything, you know what I mean? And that's why, as I was, like, going on with the journey, you know, I was always looking at whoever came before me, who was there with me, and who was coming next. And I realized that a lot of the time, like, years will go by, and it's like, you don't see each other for a while, and you see each other again. It's like, man, like, a lot of people, nothing has changed. You know what I'm saying? Like, nothing has changed. And the people that even used to inspire me, you know, now it's like, I'm 35 years old. I've got 3 kids, you know. I'm a homeowner. My husband and I, we just invested in home care business. Nothing to do with Breakin, you know what? But we wanted to invest in our money. We wanted to do something meaningful. We're like, yo, invest our money into a home business that we can grow, and, you know. So this is me right now. If you're just, like, super dope on the floor, I'm gonna give you your props. But you're not gonna inspire. Like, it's just not gonna speak to me. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that out of ego, or it's not about that. It's just that, yo, like, I have to be able to look at you and be like, man, look at this person, like.
Yeah, they're doing
what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? The one person that I think is inspiring in that way, like, and I always mention him, is Moy. You know, I really I've watched Moy. You know what I'm saying? Like, really go from, like, the nasty b-boy that he still is. You know what I mean? To a family man, to a business owner. Now his whole Break Free is becoming a franchise. Like, that's crazy. You know, we don't talk about that a lot, but a franchise. Can you believe, like, people are buying what he created to make it happen somewhere else? Do you know what I mean? Like, that's insane. That's what I'm talking. Like, I get hype off of that. You know what I mean? Like, I get inspired. I'm like, yes, like, but I just feel like we need more. You know what I mean? It's not a lot of people that are, like, you know, taking things to a different level. Everybody's caught up on the floor. You know what I mean? Everybody wants to remain the best. Everybody wants to have, you know, the clipped post on the gram. Like, and I get it. You know what I mean? Like, I understand, but you gotta, you know, reinventing yourself. Also, that's what it means as well. You know what I mean? Like, you don't just reinvent yourself on the floor. I think you have a responsibility to reinvent yourself, like, in all aspects of life. You know? Yeah. And that's how you also, like, that's how you build your legacy. That's how you don't get, like, an expiration date on your you know, on yourself. Because if you only rely on your breaking, like, man, like, I don't care how well maintained you are at 50 years old. You know what I mean? I don't care how much prop you're gonna get. You're still not gonna be as good as you were before. It's really dope that you're still here, you know, representing me. I mean, I don't even consider myself old, but I'm not as, you know, I'm not as fast. I'm not as, like, I'm not, you know, a lot of things have changed. So what do? Like, I don't dwell on that. I just reinvent myself, you know what I mean? I just reassure myself that, yo, it's not just about that. Like, I have other ways to shine. I have other ways to, like, you know, be,
add value to the game.
Yeah. And still be here, you know what I mean, and representing.
Yeah, it's great, you know, and yeah, I mean, big shouts to you, Jeskilz, you know, and that's why I want to have you to be on, and that's why I want to open up the platform, because I can always like, well, I'm just gonna have MZK memory on. It's like, wow, you know, and I want to open up for everybody to reach out and say, hey, what's Jeskilz been up to, you know, or what's this person been up to? And kind of have these inspirational dialogue, right? Because I mean, we can all inspire each other at the same time, you know, and that's why I'm doing this, and it just always, there's a purpose, and what you're doing, there's always a purpose, and so
Yeah.
My message to the new generation is like, yes, Breakin, no doubt, be the best of the best, but always have a purpose behind it, because after the big competition, after the big wins, after the big titles, what have you, it's going to be a period that's the next big person's going to come. And what are you going to do?
Sure. And even how things are right now, like I always mention that, but like even the illest B-boy who wins all the jams all year long still doesn't make as much money than someone with a regular job is making. And that might not be a big deal when you're like in your early 20s.
20s, right.
But if you're trying to become a homeowner, a business owner, if you're trying to, to build like assets for your future family, I mean, let's get real. Like, how are you going to be able to do that? Only way, maybe if you like stay living with your family and you park your money somewhere and you hope that every year you're able to like win all the competition, but it's not even realistic. You know what I mean? Like, there's always going to be a next one, like, kind of like catching their brain and winning all the things. And so what does it lead? Like, to me, all that should be extra. That should be extra. Like, that's your extra money. Like, you know what I mean? That's your playing money. Like, but to rely on that solely, it's tough, and that's why athletes, man, like by 30 years old, they're retiring. Why? Like, they have built a brand. You know what I'm saying? They have built a brand and they don't depend on their skills anymore.
Right.
They're making enough money with like sponsorship, ads, all that stuff. So they still remain who they are, right? They still have a voice, they still have a presence, but now they're collecting. You know what I'm saying? They're collecting from all the hard work. And that's not us right now. You know what I'm saying? That's not us right now, and we're putting just as much effort, So, I feel like that's what...
and that's the thing.
That's the thing, man. Like, people have to be more conscious about, like, building a name, but, like, building a brand. Like, you are a brand. You know what I'm saying? Like, you are...
Yeah. And that's the thing. I've been advocating for B-boys and B-girls to basically create content for themselves, and not, other people gonna post your stuff. Use that as marketing, but create your own content and
that
create
content
a product line.
Will be sustainable if people are feeling it, like meaning they can like they relate or they learn something. You know what I mean? And that's kind of like the thing. Like, even me on social media, like, man, like, I'm looking to learn. Do you know what I'm saying? Right. And when it comes to breaking, I don't really learn a lot. I see a lot of clips, But
your skills. This live gonna end. No, I mean it's great, we just lost in the conversation. And honestly, like, people want to watch, and there's a lot of gems, of what you say. So
Well, thank you for whoever is still like.
And that's the thing. I'm gonna share this. I mean, I share our other session and stuff, but yeah, I mean, any last words or encouragement, especially for the next generation, and what's your vision? Maybe short-term vision or long-term vision of what you see for the game, and especially for the B girls and stuff. So we can wrap it up on that note, and then we can end the conversation there.
I mean, we kind of like talked about it already, but what I would love to see for everyone, again, is more sustainability, for sure. For people to be able to, like, be able to develop their skills while they're still kind of like that becomes their main like a lifestyle. That's
career.
That's what career, that you can still decide, you know what I mean, to keep it raw, keep it real, whatever, like, you know what I mean? Like, that's only because you decide to, not because like that's all you got. You know what I mean? A lot of people are shitting on like either the industry or the big competition, and that's only because they're not able to make it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They never made it, and so they're bitter.
They're bitter, right?
But what I would love to see is, for people to like develop their skills to the point like they are successful like they are right now, but on all levels. And for that, I think that's what I'm saying. Like, we're going to need to be more, I don't want to say smart, because no one is dumb, you know what I mean? No one is dumb. Like, it's just sometimes that consciousness, you know what I mean? Like, that active consciousness of, like, looking at beyond what's in front of you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know right now most people are just so hype about, like, the competition and the next one, and to keep on, like, just, like, being involved with, like, everything that's going on. But, what else? What else can we like, do to, it's just, like, like, to evolve, you know what I mean? In a sense that is that's a passion. I mean, and it is already for a lot of people, a business, a passion that's become a business, right? But at the end of the day, we're still waiting for the next call, you know what I mean? The next opportunity. And what I want to see more of is entrepreneurs. You know what I mean? Like, I want to see more people creating brands, creating content, creating things that don't necessarily have to do with breaking. You know what I mean? Like, because breaking is like, that's your passion, right? But what do you, like, what else? You know what I mean? Like, I'm on social media sometimes, and I'm like, yo, like, I don't even know about, like, teach me something today, man. Like, I sometimes, like, I share, like, I'm really into health. Like, I don't even do all the crazy shit, but, like,
yo, I love your shit.
What's crazy? Like, I'm obsessed.
Right.
I don't even necessarily do it. With my kids, I'm next level. Like, I'm most people are like, yo, you crazy. But, yo, I'm really, like, I'm into it. You know what I'm saying? And so I follow a lot more people that are, like, feeding me that kind of, content rather than breaking. It's not because I'm hating on breaking. It's just that, man, like, what else, you know what I'm saying? Like, what else have I not seen, And I'm out, like, my time is valuable. Like, I'm barely, I barely have time to do all the things that I want to do. So if I'm going to be on social media, man, I'm trying to learn things. I'm trying to be inspired, I'm trying to be motivated. And I would love to get to a point where I don't need to seek that from outside, and I could just find it with my own community. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that's what I want to see for the future. Like, I want to feel empowered. I want to feel inspired and motivated within my own community and culture, So I want to hear, like, I don't know, like, motivated. I don't want to have to go to YouTube and listen to a dude, like, that has nothing to do with what I do.
Right.
To seek, like, inspiration or guidance. I want to go to my own people that share the same passion as me to get all that. You know what I'm saying? So for me, that's what I want. That people are so established and so, like, that are killing in their own lane. You know what I'm saying? And that are just, they use, and that's what I'm trying to do. Like, I'm trying to use, like, my passion and breaking to find, like my purpose. Even if it has nothing to do, you know what I'm saying? Like, with even breaking, like, even with that home care business, like, seriously, I'm going into it with, like, a big girl mentality. You know what I mean? I'm going into it with, like, if I'm talking to people, I feel like I know how to talk to them in a way that, you know what I mean? Like, they can maybe be intrigued or interested. Like, I use myself as a big girl and what I've learned to, shift into a different, something totally different, you know what I mean? And that's what I'm saying. Like, maybe that's why I was meant to live this life, you know what I mean? But that's what I want to see, man. I want to see, like, just people, like, starting as a B-boy, as a B-girl, and just become, still being that, but become a lot more. Yeah. So that it can touch people in all other ways. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's where we'll get, like, either we can become, like, our own sponsors, we can get more sponsors, we can get more opportunities, but for me, that's what I want to see, just, like, not just one aspect, of the dance. I mean, I think Crazy Legs is a really good example. Like, man, look, he's using his platform to save his people, man. Like,
right.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that's next level.
If you don't like the guy, if you don't like the breaks,
yo, he's official.
Douche. I don't even care. There's no way you cannot be like, yo,
Right. That's
guy. Yeah. He came from the streets, right? A guy with the name like Crazy Legs. You know what I mean? Like, he's now like saving his people.
Nice.
Like,
right.
Yo, that's next level. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how I look at it. Like, and I want to see more of that.
Yeah, actually, I think we're going to get legs on to talk about that.
Yeah. So, yeah, and I mean, to each his own purpose, his own mission, you know what I mean? Nothing is bigger than the other. You know what I mean? I'm giving you Legs' example, and I want to give you a lot more, but, you know, I think I heard, as a matter of fact, I heard that Lilu, you know, this weekend, I think he's trying to get involved with helping people from the hood, like and I'm not sure, you know, like maybe you can ask him. But see, I'm hearing things like that, and I'm like, oh, that's dope. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that I get hype. You know, to use your platform to, like, you know, create, like, positivity, uplift others, like, you know, that's dope.
Yeah.
And so, for me, to answer your question, like, that is what I want to see in the future.
Yeah, that's dope.
And for the B girls, I mean, like, just, keep working hard. And, man, it's tough. I feel you. But, you know, we see you, we appreciate you. And, yeah, man, just keep on doing the best, you know, that you can do to be the best that you can be, basically. And that's for everyone. See, that's why, like, even when you ask me a question for B girls, I'm like, man, it's tough. Like, I'm just thinking as an individual, but yeah, man, that's basically what comes to mind. You know what I mean? Keep thriving to be the best that you can be. You know, don't look at what others are doing. Do you all the way.
Yep. Don't complain. You know.
Yeah, you know, everybody complains. Like, sometimes you need that little.
Yeah, it's just part of our psyche, right?
Venting, you know, but keep it moving. Always keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? And if a door closes, go kick another one open, you know?
Yeah.
But thank you, Tyquan, for having me.
You already know. I mean, anytime. You already know, you know, you got my support and anything
Thank
that you
need. It's been a long time, so it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
To get to
just reach out and I'll do the same. Yeah. And that's why I'm saying, like, to have these conversations. And within our community, we know each other, right? But we don't really dig deep and have a deep conversation, you know, to even understand each other, where we're coming from. And once you find that person's passion and purpose, it's like,
and
man.
And it's not for everyone. Like, I guarantee you, like, a lot of people maybe, like, you know, got here and they're listening and they're like, man, like, I don't want to hear all that crap, you know what I mean? Because they're not there yet, you know what I mean? And that's why it's kind of hard sometimes when you want to give your message across, because you gotta, like, our culture has no limit of age or gender or anything, so you have to find ways to be relatable to anyone. But it's all good. There'll be a time where they'll get to that place and they'll find a way to, you know, share and everything.
Yeah.
So it is the cycle. You know?
Yo, shouts to Vicious. What up?
Oh, snap. Well, it's over.
Yeah, it's over, fool. Nah. Go back to the line.
I feel bad, though. Like, aren't we supposed to, like, the point of, like, life story, isn't it, like, you kind of interact with, see, that's why I can't multitask or whatever. I'm sorry, people ask questions. You can always hit me up directly, you know. But, if anything, thank you for tuning in.
No doubt. Well, thank you, Jeskilz. You know, we'll build more. And until the next, this is not going to be the first time, you know. I'm sure there's going to be more, and, you know, or the next event or what have you. Maybe Cypher Addicts, right?
January. Cypher Addicts, January 26th. It's going to be in LA, North Hollywood. And we're going to have, actually, your crew is battling. So it's going to be Memes, Big Girl Memes from BTSK. She lives she used to live in LA, but she's from Japan. And she's battling Born.
Oh, my bro.
I don't know.
Yo, I want to see that. Yo, that's dope.
I have to come and, you know, Who knows? That might turn into BJSK versus MZK. I'm just saying, you know.
Yeah, that's dope. Yeah, no doubt, no doubt.
But I'm really hyped about that. It should be dope.
And maybe we'll have a conversation that week and just talk about cypher addicts and stuff. And there'll be many more. Trust me, this is just a start.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Like,
we'll build more. And
3 hour.
Thank you for everybody for joining. If you missed the first 2 part, you know, go back and watch it. A lot of gems. Oh crap. Jeskilz, thank you for everything, and we out for now. All right, peace.
All right, take care.
One love.
Peace.